Hello and welcome to Duplo International. Today I'm going to talk to you about our brand new booklet maker solution, the DBM-700. Now the DBM-700 is a direct replacement for the 600 system that's been such a huge success for Duplo. Due to requests within the market from our customers and the way things are developing, we've had to evolve the 600 slightly, and the DBM-700 is what we've come up with, and I think you're going to like it. Talking about things that are similar across the systems, let's have a quick chat about the feeding end. So we can feed in all the same ways that we've been able to feed before. We can feed from towers like this. So this is a 1060i, so an intelligent feeding tower. I've got 10 bins in here, and using the software I can actually instruct these towers to feed in a number of different ways, and this gives us the flexibility that we need to be able to process various different formats of print. I can go for a digital sheet feeding solution, so I've got the DSF-6000, which is our commercial sheet feeder, or I've got the 2200, which is the smaller unit, both of which, along with the towers as well, can feed A4 landscape format. Or I can combine the whole lot together and I can have a duetto system whereby I can have towers and I can have the DSF-6000 digital sheet feeder on the end, giving me the flexibility to process litho work and digital work alongside each other on a day-to-day basis, or combining the two. So this gives us the maximum amount of options available to be able to run the sheet into the machine. Right, let's have a look at the machine. What's changed? What's changed since the previous model? Well, the first thing that's changed is the software interface that we're using. Now, we've brought this in line with the iSaddle 5 system that we released last year. And mainly within the software, the main kind of changes are we're making it more usable for the operator. We're de-skilling the operator requirement to be able to run this, but also with the software, it allows the operators to change between jobs and set jobs up much faster than they could previously. The software is driving through the system, and this is where things start to change. So the first thing that we've done is we've changed the way that we transport the material within the system, and we've done this in a number of ways. We've got quite a lot of changes. If you've seen the earlier systems and you look in here, you will see it's quite a different looking system. We've changed the way the drive belts work. We've gone from round drive belts to flat belts, and what the flat belts do is they give us a bigger surface area of belt against the material, so that allows us to deliver the sheets much more accurately. But what this has also allowed us to do is to reduce our minimum paper weight within specification. So on all previous systems, our minimum paper weight for running through has been at 64 gram. This has now been reduced to 52 gram, which is great news for people that are running high pagination books. We've got more fine adjustment within here, also for knocking everything up and keeping everything where it needs to be. And this allows us to get our books through far more cleanly. Now you'll see on this system, I've got a 4-stitch head option. I don't have to have the 4 stitches. This is one of the big changes with the DBM-700, is I can actually have 2 stitch heads on here, and I can do 4 stitches with 2 heads. Now this does have an impact on the speed of it running, but if you're a company that's looking at this as a solution and you don't already do 4-head work, then it allows you to step into that marketplace without having to make the initial investment into the 2 additional heads, which obviously you only add if your volumes get high enough and you need that increased speed within the system. So 4 stitches, 2 stitch heads, a great step forward. The sheets come through, and once we get down to the folding section, again there's been subtle little changes and upgrades through the system. Once we get down to here, simple things like where the lights are on the inside of the system. On the earlier units, they used to be standalone units which encroached potentially on your vision inside the machine. These have now been integrated into the frames so we can see more clearly down into this system. But the pressure possibilities of the rollers for the fold has been increased, and they've beefed up everything within the folding section. Now there's a good reason for this that we'll come to in a second, but this as a booklet maker itself is the DBM-700. So very similar specification to previously, 3mm thickness, that's 30 sheets of 80 gram bond, and we can run through very similar to the earlier system, apart from we can do it far more accurately. We've obviously got our 2-head 4-stitch option, and we've got our 52 gram paper upgrade. That's where the similarities end. because now I need to introduce you to the 700S, which is this very small unit that I've got sat here. Now this is a square spine unit. It's an inline square spine unit. A really good thing about this is it's a square spine unit that's before the 4-edge trimmer. So this means we can form our square edge and then cut the 4-edge of the book, and this gives us a much better quality output of book. So we've changed the method that we use to create the square spine. We've gone over to a unit where we clamp the book as it comes in, and we use a roller backwards and forwards across the spine edge of the book. And this gives us a more accurate and a more consistent square spine on the book. We then come into our DBM-700T. So this is a trimmer which is bespoke to the 700 booklet maker, and it's bespoke largely because this has an option for an upgrade kit. So as a 4-edge trimmer, exactly the same in its standard guise, 30 sheets of 80 gram, but we've got an upgrade kit availability on this. Firstly, air. So we've got air to get rid of our waste out of here, to save any waste getting stuck within the trimmer system. But secondly, if we fit the upgrade kit on here, we can now increase our sheet count to 50 sheets of 80 gram. But even better than that, we can go to 60 sheets of 64 grams. So we get a 240 page stitched book with a square spine. Now at that thickness, obviously cutting the 4-edge after doing the square spine gives us such good quality on the output from here. Now you will also notice that I've got a hand feed unit on the square spine. Now if I've got pre-stitched applications that haven't been square spined, I can drop these in and feed it through without having to put them all the way through the booklet system. So as explained, upgrade kit on here to get up to those 60 sheets. The other thing that we have to change is the stitching wire in the heads. So the standard stitching wire is 0.53 and we need to go up to a 0.6 to give us the pressure to enable us to get the stitches through the thicker books. Now I can add a DKTS on the end of here so I can do my 3 and 5 knife trimming, but the DKTS is restricted to the 3mm, so the 30 sheets of 80 gram, even with the square spine unit. So what this means is we can get incredibly good quality books out of this system. Now here is a 50 sheet book on 80 gram bond on the inside, and as you can see I've got massive bulk within this book. Look how flat that's sitting. This is absolutely perfect, and we can produce this very consistently and at a much faster speed than anybody else out there. I hope you're as excited about the DBM-700 as I am, and I hope to see you here at Duplo International in the very near future. Thank you.